Welcome back, Kingsman, to another NTW3 battle. I hope you guys are all doing well, enjoying your week, the entrance into the summer. Almost, I guess it's not technically summer. But today we have a 4v4. This is on Salamanca. Now it is not historical cores, but you don't need that in order to enjoy a beautiful battle and beautiful map. Because of course all these armies were in the Napoleonic era, and that is good enough for me, and good enough for probably most anybody. So the factions on this field today, of course you have the French, you have an 11-point France Allemagne, 8-point France España, 9-point France Flanders, and the 1814 8-point France, which is right here. That's one of the new ones they made. They definitely have a lot of troops rolling through. They are going up against a 10-point 1812 Russia, a 9-point 1811 UK Portugal, a 8-point 1805 Austria, and a 8-point 1814 Austria. Now, definitely some very good kills on each side. Comparing the losses too, it doesn't look like one army got just like farmed up, which is the next thing that I've started checking for. I've kind of forgotten about, farming can rack up the kills. So I compare the deaths to kills and be like, okay, that guy didn't get farmed. He must have fought hard. And that seems to happen a lot in this video, or this replay, I should say. A lot of really good kills, so buckle up, get comfortable, get your favorite beverage, or I don't know, whatever you do whenever you, watch NTW3 replays, and buckle up for a glorious fight. Now, we already have the French scouting here. The Flanders has some Chasseurs Cheval scouting out here, already seeing some of the Austrians who are also firing artillery. Not the greatest angle for their guns firing this way. Of course, they can turn and face this way, and they can get infantry to kind of protect their guns this way, even stretch them out, and then use the guns to kind of protect their line. Obviously, we have another Austria over here. Both Austrias kind of on the same, or never mind, this may just be one whole Austrian army here. And there's the next one. We have artillery firing already on this 11-point French column advancing. And there's the UK, so the Austria 8-pointer, the 1805, is over here with the UK. And then Russia's kind of center, and then the 1814 Austria is kind of on their own here on the left side. They're probably going to get hit by a 9 and 8-pointer all at once. Artillery fire from the French hitting some of these hussars, going to force them to fall back. Already looks like some death and destruction on the field here. But there's our falling back, and let's see where the French plan on attacking. You have that 8-point España kind of formulating a push here in the center, backed up maybe by Flanders. The French seem well within, at least these three seem pretty close together for the most part. This 8-pointer is a little further away, but once they close in and this 9-point gets in position, they will be right next to each other. Unlike the coalition that seem a little bit scattered right now. Hopefully we'll see them kind of consolidate a little bit more as the fighting commences. Some skirmishers here, taking some pot shots. Looks like the French have thrown up some of their voltigeurs. Start skirmishing back as the battle's going to soon kick off. Like I said, the Austrians have some beautiful positions here. Howitzers up on the hill. Behind the hill, actually, in a safe spot. There goes another howitzer. Ooh, that was right next to the artillery. But they have some really good high ground here. You can see the Austrians have the heights. I mean, the French have some high ground as well. France really circling around here. They even have their general. So maybe they're trying to misguide the Austrian army. The UK forming up right behind Austria over on this side. But yeah, a lot of good high ground. Russian cavalry. Some Guisards. They are forming up as well. Now, I'm kind of curious what the French brought. Let's see, Trilliers, I see Trilliers, the 72nd. The 5th, looks like we have some voltigeurs over here, so maybe some more elites in the back. Yeah, some more elites in the back for this army, but a good mixture of infantry over on this 8-pointer. The 42nd, 18th, 23rd, 30th. Oh, we have some National Guard. These guys actually seem to do decently well in most fights. I did see some carabiniers as well. Artillery's rolling up, some 6-pounders. And then they have even more infantry kind of hovering on the left side. Oh, he brought some Marines. No, he's going straight in. Hopefully set up his lines. Now looking at this army that is maybe going to be making the first attack, setting up infantry and artillery up on this high ground. This is España. Who is about the 11th, the 6th, the 8th, and the 15th Dragoon. And then it looks like some Chasseurs Cheval. They have some artillery already set up, some stakes that were set up by some sappers. And then, of course, have the 11-pointer, has some carabiniers, some grenadiers. I do love the uniforms in these best, probably. Just so flashy. Just so very nice, especially the Grens. Friendly fire. Maybe. Oh, we have a cav clash on the flank here. Hussars and the Chasseurs Cheval Imperial Guard clashing, and of course Imperial Guard win that clash. More Dragoons kind of trying to back them up as Austria shifts up some Brassiers. Okay, they have heavy cav. No one has made anything yet. Both sides have quite a bit of artillery and they're probably letting it formulate. However, this 8-point España actually has a very nice angle here. They can advance almost up to this hill and they are safe from artillery fire here. That's a very good thing to have. They are safe. They can even roll up and hit this. Excuse me. They can hit this artillery or this Austrian line here. I don't think you can do that. I think that's embedding. Pretty sure having infantry stacked into your artillery. Pretty sure that's embedding and not allowed. Yeah, you see, they're going to throw up their national militia first. The guard kind of soak up some of that damage potentially. This 11-pointer, they are not really... They have a huge skirm screen with no cavalry to really defend it. I mean, I guess they have some Mamelukes right here, but I don't see anything nearby. Even I'd put something right here behind the buildings to be able to protect that. If they run that over, it's over. So we are starting to see a diversionary force almost. This 11-pointer kind of holding their ground. And we see 9 Flanders and 8 España and also 8 France 1814 maybe making a push. This is a very weak point in the coalition's line. They have an Austrian line here, maybe some Russians. But that's about it. 2 armies, and they can focus with 3. That is going to be a huge advantage, consolidating all at once. But the artillery duel will probably keep going until one side loses their guns. That's what I suspect. And then someone's going to make a move once the guns are gone. So we may be in for a big old artillery duel. You have those 4 6-pounders as well as 3 8-pounders going against an equal amount almost of Austrian guns. And it's literally dead even. Skirmishers have pushed up, maybe trying to, they're trying to skirmish down that artillery piece. Russia is now joining the lines here. They have some infantry set up. Will be a terrible time to be in the infantry. Alright, so this battle seems to be heating up. Austrian lines engaging with skirmishers who are actually pulling back after taking a few casualties in some line volleys. Skirmishers kind of protected by the infantry quite well. More cavalry on the flank. The UK has some hussars over here. France cannot be able to do necessarily anything here until they deal with some of that cavalry, unless of course the UK can't defend those lines. But that's hopefully what it's there for, is to defend the Austrians so they can push forward without having to worry about French cavalry. And some more horse artillery kind of far back, but it still doesn't seem like a very good angle. If you zoom in, they have a kind of a hill in the way. I suspect they maybe should have set up right here instead. Especially if, where are they firing? Oh, they're going for this 70 seconds. Oh yeah, that's gonna hurt. But France, okay, so we have a huge España pushing forward here as the Austrians have decided to hold the brow of this hill. France is gonna have to take some shots from already in place, already zeroed in artillery from the coalition. We're still waiting for the catalyst to the actual engagement to happen. Something big needs to happen. Both sides, I think, fear the other's artillery maybe a little too much. I'm not totally sure yet. And we have a huge force. Flanders maybe pushing around the flank. Maybe they don't want to deal with that artillery. Maybe they'll go for a flank. They have the hill to protect them. España maybe falling back a little bit. Impératrice. I think that's how you say that. I'm pretty sure. Uh-oh. Oh, Russia committing. They actually may get this. They're going to get this artillery now. They may lose their cavalry, which that's a very good cav unit. But still, they took out the artillery piece, and now Russia's set up, and they are able to sit there without worrying about artillery. Artillery duel definitely kind of going in favor of the coalition here. Still, I feel like this would be a good spot to advance on the flank here. You go here and you march along. They would have to then mobilize troops way back here. They have a road, but this is open field they'd have to march through.
Men are running.
The guns are all set up right here. Who's running? Yeah, this artillery is brutal. I don't know why the French are taking this. They need to get very aggressive or just totally fall back and just go in. They will get maybe 2 rounds of artillery, and if you move quickly and you can melee them, I would go for, I mean, this center seems very weak. Set up here, I mean, artillery is already set up. That's the problem. Both sides kind of took their time, but there's a lot of cavalry, a lot of dragoons that can be really well effectively used against even Russia. Gotta love the new flags. They are set up in a very defensive position. Man, the artillery, though, is quite brutal. This would not be a fun time. I think it's Austrian line. This would seem very miserable. But of course, the French are going literally, oh man, they're getting hammered by the guns. Like, absolutely hammered here. Oh, hold that thought. Do we have cavalry in the back lines? Oh, we have the howitzers getting charged by LeBlancs. Yep. Wow, what a strike of misfortune for the Austrians. Now, they may have saved themselves, but they did lose some of that are... No, did they lose any of it? Surprisingly, did not lose it. Still, I want to see the French make some aggressive strike here. Not seeing that, but I would love to see an aggressive play by the French. The Austrians don't, I mean, the coalition don't seem to want to budge from this spot. They seem very content to just stay here. I'm seeing a lot of direct fire orders on stuff. Don't do that. You can, I mean, I feel like that artillery would be better, beneficial right-clicking right behind these French lines and getting some fire on them. It appears that Russia is remobilizing just based on the fact there's probably a huge flank being made by the French, who are shifting Flanders and the 1814 France. Let's say 8-point France. Over to this side, they're probably going to try to shift over reinforcements over there, which will, well, no, maybe not. Maybe they're not. Talk about a slow battle. Artillery is going to be the main killer in this fight. This is when you get comfortable, guys. I mean, I'm drinking some coffee, honestly, right now. So, I'm enjoying the... I admit, the sounds are pretty Napoleonic. That should be a shirt. The sounds are Napoleonic. We have some more Voltigeurs here. Yep. So we got some really good units. A whole kind of column here waiting. A lot of hills to hide behind, at least. This is almost entirely from artillery. I mean, this was on the cav charge too, I guess, but most of the kills you see in the field are from artillery at this point. Oh, we have an advance being made right on the flank. Now, of course, these guns are going to be aiming in this direction. However, the hill's probably going to start harming the artillery from being able to shoot effectively, as a lot of us can start hitting these low-cutting hills. Especially as they're going straight in on an angle. Oh, I love to see this. This is what we want to see. Cavalry, infantry, an assault being prepped and ready to go. And we may actually have a counterattack being made on Austria. Some cavalry may be going to clash over here. I think this is actually going to be the first. Of course, you have the Austrians, some cuirassiers even falling back. Alright, now let's go check on the other side. That cavalry struck in. We saw it moving in before I left, and they got a skirm unit and got away with barely a loss. More cavalry here, as Austria obviously is trying to support their lines. More reinforcements going to start shifting over to this side. Both sides reacting as they should to an attack being made. France has almost gotten to the point which there's artillery, except for 1 or 2 guns, will be able to really be effective here. The rest of the troops will be able to keep shifting up. And the National Guard, the National Guard can push up and distract that front line. Just sit right in front of them. That's what I would do. Nice flanking charge. You have the chasseurs charging in on the Austrians, who are now kind of bottlenecked here. Oh, some skirmishers going to get caught, unfortunately. Ooh, Russia sent over some cavalry. And we have the, oh no, they're going to lose the Impératrice. However, they seem to be doing quite well. Oh no, Austria's breaking. Go for it, France, go in. My goodness, that's when you have to charge. Now over here, the UK forming up. France just getting shot by withering volleys. They are going to be forced to maybe reform their lines before making that attack here. You see, the artillery isn't able to hit this little route. You can stay right here, and you're going to do quite well. The rest of this French column pushing forward. More French advancing. Looks like Russia arrived just in time because Austria started losing some of their cavalry. Very promising looking formation, getting prepped to attack the coalition, who, are falling back now. I think they realize this is a mistake. Artillery cannot even hit this, guys. This is going to compromise their entire artillery position. Oh, shoot, we have a Another cav charge. Looks like some Russians and some French kind of engaged. France not able to really form. Oh, they were able to form a square or two. Russia should probably get out of there. Over here, France making some distance, shifting more troops to kind of protect their flank. The coalition need to attack. They have a Russia and a UK and an Austria all in this one area. They could push in from this direction and this direction and just encircle almost 2 French armies. That would be beautiful if they could do it. Another cav charge. Looks like here's some Russians charging a square, and now some of the chefs de cheval are going to go in to support this. This does not look like a very effective Russian cav charge. Looks like Russia's going to try. Oh gosh, excuse me. Alright, Russia needs to watch out. I seen some pretty exploitative, maybe it was a misclick, but they look like they dragged through that French square. That looked kind of fishy. Had the cavalry running through. However, they still did lose a cav unit. And over here, we have a Russian charge here. Or not Russian, I apologize. French charge there. French also forming up here to fight off the Austrians. This not looking good for Austria whatsoever. Their line seems in total disarray here. Russia is kind of losing that cav fight now. Over here, Russia maybe trying to finally make a push. Maybe not, though. Man. The coalition seem to be losing the initiative they seem to be gaining before. Russia's being a little too passive here. They need to push. They need to push really hard on this flank. This hill's protecting them from this artillery. You can push and then roll over the brow of the hill, and it's all over. The square getting formed. Some line infantry getting charged, though, and they do break. Oh, Austria's in big trouble here. Oh yeah, Austria's about to die. See, at this point, Austria's trying to defend here. They do have cavalry. They can send cav in to charge the infantry. I mean, perfect. Bayonet charge and cav charge. Here we go. Russia's making an advance. This is where an 11-pointer should fall back so their guns can kind of meet the advancing coalition. Especially since this flank is not going well. Keep in mind, the French are charging uphill. This is not going to go very well for them. They are going to probably take some heavy losses as the Austrians have stood their ground and repulsed a couple bayonet charges from the French. The French actually losing in this melee. They went in way too few troops and not enough cavalry support. Oh man, Austria seems to have retaken this. The Guard, the National Guard, is now going to be pulled forward here as France has taken some heavier losses than they can afford to at the moment. We see some of the 5th is up on the top of the hill fighting desperately, but they are going to get flung back as well. And now this Austrian line is going to reform. France has 4 regiments still that can make that attack. And Austria probably is getting very battered and very tired, and they have reinforcements just sitting here. I'd be shuffling these guys over to face off against this line still. France is getting surrounded, their cavalry at least is. So we have another cav fight happening here. Those Cavaliers in a locked-in engagement here. More French now advancing through this kind of, I guess it's like a small forest. Oh wow, France wins, probably with that heavy cav, but they are of course very exhausted. They need to pull back and rest them up. France is actually withdrawing here, and this line fight is now heating up at the same time. France has formed up some skirmishers and line infantry along the whole side. I still am seeing a lack of aggression here by the coalition when I think they could really afford to push a lot harder, put way more pressure, especially this UK. Push really hard on this small line. This line's going to start withering under such concentrated volleys of fire. Now we are seeing a maybe kind of space being made between the two. Russian cavalry that was desperately needed over here is now being able to shift back. I think if they use their Russian cavalry, they can start charging in against the French, getting some, really nice bayonet or cavalry and infantry charges against the French, and they can start winning here. But they probably still need it because France is still pushing. They have made it over the brow of the hill finally as Austria has called the retreat. So France is going to get an attempt again to maybe break up this Austrian line. They are, of course, resting up their cavalry. It's very exhausted. Their infantry probably are very winded. They've been in melee for a little bit. Looks like they have some fresh units. Alright, so France has wisely pulled back across the hill. They're going to force the coalition to have to push over. So their artillery, which is sitting in a very nice position, it will just then, they'll knock their shoes off. Noticing this UK army definitely has a lot of Portuguese, but they also have a nice reserve of more British troops. They have some of the Highlanders. They have, good troops in the reserve they can throw forward at any given point. These lines seem to be doing well. I did see cavalry shifting over here. Oh, we have cuirassiers charging forward potentially. France is going to have to face some Russian cavalry or infantry and cavalry now, as the A-pointer is now getting his forces across. Here comes a basically light infantry detachment from Russia. More than an attachment, it's like a, I don't know what the terminology would be. They have like 5 regiments of light infantry from Russia. Fresh, ready to pour in some fire. This artillery is going to have to be really focused on this area. This is a very weak point in their line. They need to use so much superior artillery fire to force Russia from even considering marching down this valley. Some cavalry going to get a charge up on some skirmishers, some chasseurs cheval. And then they're going to get themselves out of there. Oh no, they're going to go for some skirmishers. Nice. They may actually keep that cavalry too.
Our men are running first.
I still am worried about this engagement for France. This engagement is definitely not in favor of the French right now. I mean, you can see they are just getting beaten up. Austria is using the better quality firepower they have. There's no bayonet charges being done by the French. Their melee, which is the key to success for most French armies, not at all being utilized, I feel like. The cavalry and infantry coordination, the coalition has the advantage when it comes to long-standing volley fire line fights. If they're both exchanging fire like they're doing right now, the coalition's going to win this fight, hands down. Looks like they're going to pressure using their reserves, maybe throw them into the front line. Maybe march over the brow of this hill with some Russian support, and they could then get into melee here with the French, where France probably doesn't want to.
Our men are running.
Square was formed. Looks like that the 8th Dragoons getting shocked by that square. A nice cavalry charge by the UK. Gonna break that 4th, what is it? 4-pounder?
Our men are running, sir.
Quite honestly, besides the 8-point Austria 1814, both armies on both sides are pretty equal in number. I mean, the 8-point Austria 1814 brought 2,500 men, but the rest of them look pretty even when it comes to the numbers. So I guess it's an extra 1,000 for the coalition, and they're definitely seeming to be using it quite well. Another cavalry charge. Oh, why aren't they firing? Come on. So close. Oh, hold that thought. We have a big old juicy cavalry engagement here. Looks like Austria is trying once and for all to break the Austrians, and this actually may help the French a ton. Imagine having a cav dominance with so many dragoon units here. They can start hitting and harassing this Austrian flank. Maybe start winning this fight. They can roll up the Austrians. It is over. Now we have a countercharge potentially going in against Russia. Russia rushing forward. Some dragoons to meet them. Ooh, the back charge though. Oh, I was hoping to see a nice countercharge here, forcing back Russia, even breaking them. Don't think I'm seeing that. And over on this side, it's still just one long line fight. What have we here? That's a misclick, unfortunately, and a forgotten misclick here. Now, French are still falling back to their hill, so they're still falling back. Over here, though, Russia creating havoc with their dragoons. We got some more French mounting the hill. Oh, we have Russia actually getting meleeed. This is turning into a bit of a mess. But we do have the 11-pointer. They are committing here, going in with light infantry, interestingly enough. They are not doing too hot against the Russian defensive line, but he's going to send in the 64th as well. And France closing in with the UK. The UK are in melee at this point. Not looking too good. Austria's kind of been distanced by this 8-point España. But the 11-pointer actually making some impact here on the coalition's line. Nothing else really happening, just this. And I am seeing a lot of UK breaking as those grenadiers pushing forward constantly.
Our men are running, sir.
Now Russia's just taken this melee charge quite well. Okay, a little bit of skimming. I'm not sure. That doesn't look super intentional. So I'm assuming it's just an accident. Come on, France. Keep going. Keep going. Oh my goodness, they're getting shot. Like every second literally counts when it comes to this. You gotta keep charging. Oh. No, they're not charging. Oh, there they are. There they are. There they go. Maybe too late still. Even with the cavalry support, it's going to be too late. The UK are getting some really nice frontal volleys on the French, and they are breaking them before they even make impact. And that is how you defeat. Now still, this 11-pointer is still getting a nice flank on the UK, really cutting them up. Austria is still falling back, surprisingly. I thought they would have tried to hold. They have definitely the numbers. Oh, the UK flank folds. Let's see if the French can continue this on. Nothing going to fall back at this point. Definitely a very interesting battle so far. Very interesting. A little questionable at times about the strategies, but you know, people playing the game have different skill levels, and you can't really question it too much. They're just playing the game. You know, they don't have to be amazing. We make the proper. Ooh, is that a general's? That's general staff. Wow, way back here he died. Oh, this cavalry had been so effective earlier on. Because France still has so much cav. What are these guys doing? That is a terrible bayonet charge or cav charge here. This unit is gonna probably keep firing just because you barely clipped them.
The men are fatigued and must rest them.
Oh no, Napoleon's gonna get run down by Russian cavalry. Maybe not. Alright, he got saved. Nice break, Napoleon. Sheesh. This coalition line just looks just as strong as ever. And they are pursuing the 11-pointer who's kind of running away. Now, they do have artillery that will just obliterate this UK line. Austria actually may potentially get encircled here. What is going on with this cavalry? Austria could potentially get just absolutely destroyed if France plays their cards right. They still got the cavalry. They still got the infantry to make an attack here. I would focus right here on this part of the line, hitting this angle. Now, maybe they're thinking they got to engage both flanks and then put the cav in. A back charge of cavalry is always brutal. Even if you force them into square, the infantry can advance, and there's such a decreased amount of firepower being put down on this advancing lines that it's probably fine. The UK has kind of abandoned this Austria to defend themselves. They really want this 11-pointer. We'll see if they can catch them. The rest of this line's kind of vaulted in the opposite direction, kind of almost back behind what the original coalition's position was. Still, the artillery that France can bring still to make it very difficult for this UK, I suspect, if they walk into that trap. Come on, get the sappers right here. cavalry, make them force them into square, run the sappers down this road. They will go there very quickly. And boom, you got a starting melee. Even get this other cav unit and just do a frontal charge at the same time. Like pull the 7th back and form this cav into a column and run them right through here at the same time that you attack there. So run these guys, give them attack order, a bayonet charge attack order, or just start running them this way. Charge in, and then pull these 2 lines and hit them there. That's what I would do. Something like that. People sometimes ask, like, how do you do a, see, they're in a form of square. Or not. Oh no! Are they gonna form a square? Yes, they are. And they're gonna pull the cavalry in as well, because they probably will stop forming square just for a split second to meet that bayonet charge. Either way, these sappers are a beast when it comes to some melee. And now the cavalry can start supporting this line. And it can start becoming quite painful for the Austrians. Looks like some squares are formed. Russia's still trying to break the spear of this French army, not working too effectively. France still circling around here. This battle could actually be a super decisive factor here. Oh, no. Yeah, these guys should keep firing. Oh, no, back charger sappers. I mean, it still is effective. Now the cavalry can run in here. There he goes. This is where things start. The catalyst to breaking the Austrians. Oh, they had him. They really had him. Now he's going to charge to protect the flank. Still, these guys are shaken. But Austria is now heavily outnumbered as they're starting to lose troops. France can just start pushing this flank of infantry, start pulling this one back. Ooh, the general! They're going to go for the general. Austria may lose their general, and that's going to cause a shock to morale, and this Austrian army may die. On this side, Russia still... Yep, see, there it is. The coalition still look pretty strong over here. They have a lot of cavalry that's kind of sitting here. If the coalition loses, it is because they were still too laid back and not aggressive enough, I think. Especially with the momentum they had going earlier. Still, they could win this side quite easily. They're starting to get around the flank of the French. The Marines may get some action here. No, they're gonna die. They're gonna get shot in the face. Flanking fire, or they're just gonna, morale's gonna crash because of the flanking bayonet charge. So if anything, I guess they saved this flank briefly. It shouldn't be enough. Maybe I'll eat my words. Maybe they'll stand fast, but I kind of doubt it. But here we go. The French are just rolling through here. Cavalry is just going ham here. And so they pulled up their other dragoon unit, and it's just mass routing the Austrian line. And we will have an entirely freed up España to then roll up on the coalition's flank. So the coalition may be trying to go for a finishing move on May Point, France. The thing is, France can get away from this. They are probably faster with their L4s and L5s. I mean, France is on borrowed time, guys. They are very, very close. This España needs to hurry so that they can save this battle. It's turning out to be very, very close. Very close. You know, this Russia would have been better spent defending this Austria. Probably. Still. Now, I like how you can even hear it, like it sounds like it's way in the distance. Oh, that looks like a mass rout by France. More and more troops breaking here. This artillery helping out as best they can, at least on this side of the hill. I'd be going for the cavalry that the Russian has. I'd be going for these guys. I'd be clicking right behind them with the artillery, hoping I can break them. Still, now the coalition are going to have to peel something off to face this España. And not a pleasant thought to have to do. Oh, what? Hold that thought. We have a cav engagement. Some Carabineers going against the Austrian line, getting a beautiful heavy cav charge with infantry going in as well. This could be death to this Austria as well. The counter charge coming in though. Will it be enough? I see a lot of French breaking. Now this España is very strong still. What's left of this French army could shift over to help him out. Probably could still do a lot of damage. But now with 22 minutes remaining, time to start considering LOCs. Now there is jack swap for LOCs. There's two. So I feel like this is not going to be an LOC battle. This is going to be a death match. I wouldn't even want to march all the way to both. I'd be like, you know what? Nah, let's just fight it out. Russia now backing up what's left of this UK. They're going to push over the brow of this hill. What's left of Flanders is falling back. I will pull back over this hill so the artillery can at least help me out. At least France still has that artillery, and you probably will see how effective it is, especially as the coalition starts getting closer and closer to them. Looks like they may be trying to focus down this UK. España's going straight at them. This looks like a loss. However, I mean, 8-point France did get away from Austria with a section of his forces left. But Russia definitely still here, very ready to, you know, go in. Oh, we got Sharpie. Or Sharpie's units going in a fight. 64th breaking them. That's what this artillery needs to be focusing, and these guys need to be focusing on. Oh, those juicy Russian columns start just, oh yeah, start hitting them. Look at that. Even these artillery pieces need to be focused. Oh wow, canister I'm assuming is what broke them, and España's pushing the flank. I think the French can win this, guys. So long as they can stop this Russian tidal wave, they can do it. Their artillery is going to actually have a very key role to play here. And you can see already they are doing what they can. Now, heavy cav is going to try to deal with it. Oh boy. As long as Russia doesn't kill their own cavalry friendly fire, which they look like they're doing right now, unfortunately. Oh my gosh, they're killing their own cavalry. Russia, stop. Think what you're doing. And the artillery is adding to that, and there goes their cavalry. They just run it around here. Now, of course, we have, oh, the Austrians are back on their guns. This could even the odds yet again. It kind of sucks still to beat Russia out here in front of, you know, 7 guns. All trained on you. This would be like a French artilleryman's dream. Easy shots. Oh, Russia still has cavalry, so it's not over yet. And here comes España. They're going to be rolling up the flank. Russia's going to get there first, guys. Russia's going to get there first. Oh, what? No way, these Dragoons! Oh, a stroke of luck here. Now he's going to get himself out of there. Does not want to get caught up by the Russian Dragoons. He needs to save these guys who are shaken and winded already. Still, he killed 1 artillery piece and damaged another one. Well, he's going to get himself, thankfully, out of there in time. And then force this Dragoon unit not to be able to charge against the French, but he's going to have to be defensive with it.
We have killed their general,
what?
sir. Now they must break.
Oh. Well, that's just farming. Here we go. Let's see what Russia's got. The 11th charges in. They don't have enough men. France does not have enough men. The artillery, which is an F5, so moving very rapidly, is going to get themselves out of there. Probably retreat with this. España's rolling down the road. However, Austria may catch them in the flank, and plus artillery is still very, very out here. Now, it's not firing yet. I'm not sure that's a bug or if they're just not forgetting about it. Plus, there's also pressure added from the 8-point France that has been pushing in. So the coalition definitely need to still be very cautious now they play this. Russia should have gone for bayonet charge right here. They would have caught this artillery and infantry. They keep trying to shoot. With Russia, remember, you have a strength in melee. Your strength is in melee. Especially with, you know, some cavalry support. Uh-oh, now they're firing. This is bad. The hill's actually protecting the French for once, but... Also, don't run your troops. They're running their troops. That's just going to exhaust the troops, and then they won't be able to shoot very well. In fact, if they get bayonet charged out of being winded, it will not be very effective. Here we go. France ran in once more, getting that artillery piece before they could do anything. And now they can start striking a blow at the Austrians coming in. They can rout them. They have some French infantry coming in as well. España going down the road here, so we may have the reinforcements smacking into the flank of Russia. Imagine there's artillery sitting up on this hill protected by infantry, just firing the flank. That's why you need horse artillery, because they can just run them around here and go blink, and then just fire. Oh, Austria's in a pickle. Oh no, the 15th Dragoons, they break. Still, a lot of fresh French troops. Oh, actually, some of them get tired, I guess. Still, bodies on the field. Some French infantry on the field. Warming up here. That was definitely desperately needed.
The men are fatigued, sir, and must rest a while.
This artillery is relocating, and they are about to start firing, it looks like. Maybe they know this flank is kind of dead, so they're pulling back maybe to this hill. I'm not sure. I feel like if they set up right here and just started firing, they would get some nice shots, especially with España pushing in on this gap in lines. It's going to force Russia to stay put. That was bad position, unfortunately. Alright, France is gonna get charged here. They're gonna push up some infantry. They're gonna kind of stand firm first, give a volley, force the Russian dragoons to fall back. Ooh, a huge break though. Just the withering volleys of these massive Russians. It's enough. On this side, you can see Austria pulling back. Russia definitely not looking too good now that their allies kind of rolling backwards just because of the routing they constantly have. Oh, we have the cavalry going in again. Oh, they have the chasseurs, the Imperial Guard. They're gonna form a square. Still, oh, the artillery's getting caught. The artillery's getting caught. That's over. The artillery's gonna probably get killed. Oh yeah, it's gonna break. Still, it's worth wasting the one last cavalry unit on the field that the French, or that the coalition have. That dragoon could have wrecked this whole flank. Instead, it broke an artillery piece, which may still come back, and there still is one more that is going to set up here. It's F5 being quite mobile. And now their cavalry can actually harass the Russians. It does appear that Russians are now falling back here on the left flank. France actually is going to catch a break here. This Austria is probably about to crumble. I'm assuming the cavalry is going to get behind and maybe get a gen snipe. Or just if they went here and then smacked into Austria and start folding them, it could start the whole catalyst for the mass rout. Old Napoleon still on the field. He feels like Salamanca is his. It is almost a 1. This National Guard doing quite well here. And now the artillery is firing here. So 6-pounders gonna start punching holes. The trick with artillery is just focus on one unit and just break them. That'll cause that morale debuff. Oh, the artillery came back, didn't it? Oh, it did. How funny. How unfortunate for the coalition. So very unfortunate. Now this artillery can, I don't know, they can go somewhere and just start pummeling. I mean, they can sit right there and pummel the flank. Everything's getting stacked against this coalition now. Oh, the National Guard's getting nice and close here.
Our men are running, sir.
Oh, the French are about to receive, I think, a bayonet charge or a massive push by the Russians. Here we go. France went in with the National Guard as Austria breaks. They do lose one unit, but now Russia is almost entirely alone. General staff are convening. There's some Imperial Guard way over here. At this point, I feel like it's just a matter of time the artillery to pummel this Russian line before they'll break. I don't think the French should really risk going in for the bayonet against Russia. They need to wear them down. They have artillery to do it. They have the guns here, the guns here. All these guns probably should relocate. It looks like they are also going to go for an LOC just in case. They're sending some Carabiniers, some 11-point Ottoman, some G6, so they'll move quite rapidly. And then you also have the troops coming down the flank. I suspect
our men are running, sir.
France is about to do the last and final move here against this Russia. Who is the last one? I will say. Russia definitely got buffed, I feel like, in the 9.4 update. And Russia going in for the bayonet charge. I'm seeing them dropping, though. And Russia has smashed through. I'm assuming they were trying to go for this artillery piece. Oh yeah, Joseph Bonaparte. He's charging himself in. He's desperate not to see this line crack and break.
Running, sir.
Same time though, you see France going in, cavalry charging in the back. Imperial Guard units trying to chase down a much larger Russian units. And that is going to be the French victory here. Right as it comes down to the time limit, man, what a fight. Both sides really basically down to like no units left. Oh, the canister though. The canister just breaking these units in mass. Very good investment with the artillery, I feel like. And I believe that is all the units left in the field, so I think we'll see the results now. Let me see the fast forward button. And if not, well, they probably have an LOC, that means. I'm assuming. Right? Oh, wait. No, there's a unit right here. That's what it is. Alright, that should be the battle. Yep. And let's see. This one was sent in by the player for Joseph Bonaparte. I believe España. I'm not totally sure. But either way, you can see got some good kills here with his cavalry, the 15th and the Demi Brigade. But looking at the results here, so you have Umfalupa. He was the 11-pointer with 1308 for the kills. Bullet as 8 España, 1197. Xerxes, 834 as Flanders. And Nintendo as 8-point France with 1400 kills. On the other side, Russia, XD. 1449 for the kills. Got some really good kills. Richard Sharp is the UK, 741. Smug Kane with 681. It's Austria, and then Gorge, other Austria, is 1703 for the kills. So, as you can see, some really good kills on both sides. Definitely does credit for the basically ferociousness of this, or that's not a word. The fierceness, there we go, of this fight. And very enjoyable, very good. I mean, it definitely was one of the more long, drawn-out ones. A lot of artillery play, and those are bad to have every once in a while. I feel like sometimes, you know, everybody wants to focus on the fast-moving, hard-hitting battles, and those are definitely tons of fun with just infantry and cavalry smacking into each other, being won in 30 minutes. But sometimes these battles can be a ton of fun as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and as always, I will catch you all in another video.